So I'm going to talk a little bit about Open 3-in-1 API and what that is and why it's important to government and to residents and I think community at large. And I need my little clicker. Hold on. So I'm going to just do a little historical tour here. On June of 2009, we were one of the first cities to launch with Twitter and our 3-in-1 service. And for those of you who don't know what 3-in-1 is, it's a way for residents to communicate issues like graffiti, pothole, the streets being dirty, that kind of stuff to government. And that's traditionally been through a phone number, 3-in-1. And as you can imagine, that's a very expensive channel, and you have to hold and wait and all that kind of stuff. So Twitter was really a great way. You could kind of do it, asynchronously. You could just tweet it in. You could take a picture while you're getting on the bus and send that in. So we thought, hey, this is a good start, but we can even do much more than this. So in March of 2010, with our Mayor Gavin Newsom, City CIO Chris Vian, and Vivek Kundra, the White House CIO, we announced and launched Open 3-in-1 API. And from there, 6 months later, we've got 5 apps, and we have dozens more in the pipeline that are being made at no cost to taxpayers. And I think that's really interesting. All this diversity, all this creativity is being done really without government's involvement. We're just facilitators in this process. And if we were to try to do this in government, A, we couldn't do it. We don't have the skills. B, the cost would be, let's say, $20,000 per app. We're looking at $100,000 right there, if not more. So I think that this model and this framework of empowering our community is really, really powerful. So I'm going to run through these apps really quickly. Tweet My 3-in-1 is really interesting. It takes a different take on 3-in-1 through Twitter, using hashtags as a structured way to pass information. So if you tweet a pothole, it actually goes to Public Works, and people like Christine, make sure that pothole gets fixed. It doesn't touch a human. It gets routed exactly right to Public Works, which is great. Super cheap. It gets right to who needs to do the work. HeyGov is a application developed by a Microsoft partner called ISC, and they've done just an amazing job of displaying and visualizing all the requests that are out there through heat maps. You can filter it by time and all of this good stuff, and you can also submit a request for an issue. CitySource, some of you may know them. They won the TechCrunch 50 award, and they are all about a great mobile experience. So they've focused on iPhone, Android, BlackBerry in making a great user experience. And again, we don't have Android developers. We don't have iPhone developers. It's not something the city has skill sets in right now. But they've done an amazing job. SeeClickFix, they've been in this space for quite a long time, and they're really about empowering the community, about getting people really involved. They've done things like QR codes, so you can print things out and put issues up there, and it allows for people to work in different places. And they've got iPhone apps, they've got widgets, a web channel. So they've really done a great job. The last one I'm going to show you is Moji Labs, and they're the iGoogle they're trying to be the iGoogle of mobile devices. And they've developed a widget for submitting requests to cities. So you look back at all this, why is this such a fundamental change? It's that if I create an application for San Francisco, it's going to work in Washington, D.C., it's going to work in Vancouver, it's going to work in any other city that adopts this API. And that's really powerful. If I'm going to build an app, I'm going to build an app that works across the country, if not the world. And we did this by following kind of 3 basic principles. One is the power of standards. So if you look at all the great things that have been done, GPS, HTTP, even just mathematical symbols, communication, it's all about creating standards. It facilitates communication, it facilitates the creativity, it connects people, and it gives you a broad base to start developing things. We also Power of the community. So we have limited staff. I'm always asking Chris for more staff, and he says, sorry, we're in $500 million budget deficit. What more can we do? Sorry. So we've got change agents, maybe a couple hundred in the city. We've got maybe several thousand city staff in San Francisco, but we've got millions across the world that can actually help government, can help improve local government and society. And we really need to tap into that energy and that creativity. Oops. The last thing I want to talk about is the power of collaboration. We didn't do this alone. We worked with Open Plans, that's a nonprofit. We worked with Washington, D.C., and we worked with a whole bunch of people that were just passionate about this, regular citizens that wanted to improve how government functions. And I think that if we did this alone, we wouldn't have as good an outcome as we do today. So where are we going next? We're looking at maybe 5, 10, 15, maybe this is kind of visionary, but a government operating system where we abstract all the complexities of local government, all the processes that are different between city and city, and can we create a platform that is standardized, that is something that's friendly to developers, that's friendly to anyone who wants to contribute and participate. And you think about it, we all have the same challenges. We need to start focusing on the same solutions. And instead of reinventing the wheel over and over again in each city. And I think that that's what 3-in-1 represents. Open 3-in-1 is really about establishing that platform. So I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Chris for giving myself and my team the space to play and be creative and to fail. But we've been mostly successful, I would think. Alyssa Black, who I don't think is here, but she used to be on our team. She's just awesome, and she's now with Code for America. Philip Ashlock, who's with Open Plans, and Dimitri, who's from Washington, D.C. Thank you.